Hey everyone, it's Adrienne here. Welcome. I just wanted to stop by today to share a couple reflections. I know it's been a minute since I've been on to say hello or to share what's been going on with Mind Heart Space and me personally. And gosh, it's been a super interesting time, for lack of a better adjective. It's really difficult to put into words all of the growth, transformation, learning, downloads, expansion, capacity that's been happening for me personally and for so many people that I connect with and that I work with. And so this month, as I do every month, I pick a particular theme that's alive that comes up through my meditation. And for October, it was radiance. And this is the radiance that refers to it's fire, but it's not like the fire of Aries, let's say, or the warrior. It's the fire of the earth and home. It's that constant, slow ember burn of consistency, of presence that warms our souls. That is the essence of our aliveness. And I just wanted to share with you something I wrote in my journal right after my meditation when I got that word radiance for October. It's the dawning of the human heart, the unseeable threads that are connecting to the timeless practice of generosity and what it means to be alive, our truest nature. And it's easy, I know for me, if I go onto social media for any length of time, to forget all that. But there is this consistent warmth and presence in my being that always anchors me back to the truth, that always anchors me back to reality. And this presence and this anchor has been through many, many years of practice. For those of you that don't know, I have been a meditator. I've had my own personal meditation practice for over 25 years, my own yogic practice for 25 years. And just like any relationship, there's ebb and flow. There's been years where I've meditated every day for an hour consistently. There have been months when I haven't formally sat at all, but I always come back to myself because really, this is the truth and the blessing of being is to enjoy this presence called me, called you. And it is a rich, multi-layered, seven-layer dip, just to put a Super Bowl spin on it for you. Um, just because there's been so much talk about quote unquote the Super Bowl. It's just such an incredible cultural meme, let's say, of what has been tied to being American. And it always seemed kind of funny to me. I get it's like a collegial competition and support and having pride in your team. Um, and that's for the football field. It's not necessarily going to take us where we need to go for this next evolutionary step in our humanity. And I think what it feels like to me, deep in my bones, that what's playing out right now on the world stage is the tail end of this old paradigm that's based in um, this duality of you or us and them, I should say, not you and I. And this is where this theme of sitting by the fire, the radiance of the center of the home, center of your own home, which is you. You inhabit your body. And this is connected to our solar plexus. And our solar plexus holds the imprints and programs and contracts around power, how we use power, like source that burns the fire power. And we have outside uses of power, but the definition has been distorted because our source of power is in the non-physical. We don't see it, except we see the effect of it in all that's around us in creation. So, so this month I am re-offering my 6-week online course called the Care Shop. And it's really a culmination of a lot of my life's work, which is reclaiming, I guess this is the best way that I could say it right now. My work is my devotion to helping individuals reclaim the full range of their humanity. And, you might think to yourself, what the hell does that mean, Adrienne? So I'll give you an example. There's so many subtle ways that we have our life taken from us and that we consent to having our life taken from us. So there are, for example, ways, and it's not like any evil genius sat down and did this, right? Or anybody in our families or community, thought out this evil plan. It's part of the systematic socialization process that isn't intelligent. It just reproduces itself. Like that's the intelligence, is that it just reproduces itself like on autopilot. And so much so that we give it so much power to take essential parts of our life away. And I would share with you, and I invite you to think about your own life, about where you may have not been allowed to have certain emotions, for example, or to share those emotions. Like, for example, disappointment. Like I wasn't allowed to be disappointed. And I wasn't allowed to be confused or scared. I always had to act, pick things up and look like I had it together, mostly to take care of my parents who were losing it, right? But they could never say that out loud because they were the adults and they were supposed to know what was going on. But all of us, children, adults, we all need to be held. We all need to be supported. We all need to be witnessed in the beauty of our life. And that includes quote unquote negative emotions as well as positive emotions. And so what happens when we only allow positivity? It creates imbalance in our expression and our perception and our self-image. And anything that's imbalanced doesn't go forward, it goes in circles because it's top heavy or it's side heavy. And so a lot of us are having to process a lot of emotional content that got stuck. It got pushed down into our bodies, our tendons, our flesh, our tissues, our muscles, our organs. And so, no matter how you're doing it, it's happening. It's like when you boil water and you put a tea bag in it. The tea is going to steep one way or the next. But what happens when we intentionally provide a space, a safe space for ourselves? And the exact tools that we need in order to aid ourselves in a healthy, grounded expression of the fullness of who we are. All of it, not just the parts that are acceptable. And there's lots of examples of this every single day when I go out into the world, and I watch parents with their children. It happened every day when I was in the classroom, serving as a teacher, but I was also parenting, very much so. Although you're not allowed to say that, right? Teachers aren't allowed to acknowledge that, you know, most of the day they are modeling imprints for how to be a human in addition to teaching content. And I think that's one of the most tragic and sad thing right now about education. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I don't want to get sidetracked. But education, to educate, means to build. And many of us never got the type of education we need about our own nervous system. And that's where the care shop comes in. It is a introductory. And when I say introductory, I don't mean to say that it's somehow basic or you know, elementary. It is very advanced and informed, but the principles are the foundational blueprint that many of us never received about how to be, how to support our own nervous systems in a healthy way. And we are the vehicle in which we move through life. And so this makes our relationship with our nervous system so important because it determines our reactions in the world. It colors our views, how we perceive ourselves and others. And in this practice, we get to not change the world per se. We don't change anything from the past per se, or our wounds, or our traumas, or our upsets, but we start changing our relationship to ourselves in such a way everything else shifts. And so I wanted to stop by and share this with you today because I think it's super important at this moment in time on the planet, no matter where you are. But, you know, if you're in the United States, definitely this is a very tumultuous time politically in the history of our country, and it's causing a lot of people unrest and stress. And so, you know, that famous saying that is attributed to Mahatma Gandhi, which is be the change you wish to see in the world. I had that hanging up in my classroom for years, and it wasn't until I'd probably say the last 2 years I was teaching, I finally understood what it meant to actually literally be the change, not go around and try to change everybody else, right? But to physically be fully present to my own experience in a way that I had never had the luxury of having before because it wasn't allowed. And it wasn't allowed because people didn't know, people around me, my caregivers, my community didn't even know it was available. So this is the level of impact that this type of work can have. And I called it the care shop because um, this is the place that can hold all of you, perhaps for the first time. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's not a quote unquote miracle where everything changes, but it is a drop of medicine. And as the homeopathic people will tell you, that the way homeopathic remedies work is that you just need a tiny bit of the solution to actually shift the whole organism. And so that's what this is, a drop of medicine that helps shift our own relationship to how we've been trained to relate to our own care and our own sense of well-being. Anyways, I'm going to put the link in this video if you want to check it out. I just wanted to tell you that the dates are Wednesdays from October the 22nd to November the 26th. And I just wanted to check those dates. Yep, Wednesdays. And I believe we're going to start at 6:30 and go to 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'll put the link to register under this video, and I would love to have you join me for this 6-week journey, 6 Wednesdays online, and you'll receive the electronic copy of the workbook that has all of our lessons and exercises that you can take with you after the course to continue creating your own care shop. And that's just the idea of creating your own nervous system care plan and reflect on the things that you need in order to feel good in this life. Because sadly, a lot of us never learned how to feel good in our bodies. And I mean, in that deep, wholesome way, whether we have positive emotions, whether we have negative emotions. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the deep well of being, to be able to be warmed by the fire, the radiant fire of your own life force energy, whatever's passing by at the moment. And so if you'd like to discover and find out more about how to really stoke that inner fire, that inner radiance at this time of year, and carry it with you for seasons to come, I invite you to check it out and join me. If you have any questions, just reach out and I'm happy to do my best to answer them. All right. If you're still here, thank you for stopping by and listening to my message today. Whether you sign up or not, I'm just glad you're here. It's good to connect. If you stop by, say hi, leave an emoji. Let me know you're here. Let me know how your care is going at these crazy times in the world. It's important that we take care of each other, that we reach out and we support one another in times where, sometimes it feels easier to isolate and disconnect and protect ourselves and our old wounds that we've become super comfortable with. All right. Until next time, please remember what a valuable treasure you are, and bye for now.